Listen to this sentence. A Red Ryder BB gun with this compass in the stock and this thing which tells time. Poetry. Sheer poetry, I say. Christmas Eve, everybody, and welcome back one and all to the holiday playlist. I have had so much fun looking back at some of my favorite holiday classics to get me prepped for the big day tomorrow. I hope you guys have gotten all of your wrapping done and or are getting it done while you're watching this video. As always, I thank you all so much for stopping by, and I really hope you guys enjoy your stay. And just in case you missed the last entry into this very playlist, I'll leave a link at the end of this video for my review of Elf. That review was very fun. I definitely recommend looking at that. But this time around, we are looking at, all due respect to the other films, but this, in my opinion, is the true essence in cinema of what Christmas is all about. A Christmas Story. You all know this one. It's based on the humorous writings of author Jean Shepherd, who also generously offers his voice talents to narrate the film for some great one-liners. And this follows the winter shenanigans of young Ralphie Parker, played by Peter Billingsley, and he spends most of his time either dodging bullies, played by Zack, as well as dreaming of his ideal Christmas gift, a Red Ryder air rifle. And we see that he's frequently at odds with his cranky father, the old man, played by Darren McGavin, but often comforted by his caring mother, played by Melinda Dillon. And Ralphie is struggling to make it to Christmas Day with his glasses and his hopes intact. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. This has become a holiday staple for me every single Christmas. I can't remember when the first time I watched this was. I must have been very young. But you guys know the saying, love at first sight? I think that's what this movie was to me. Kind of like the old man and the lamp. Fragile. I must be Italian. But much like that whole sequence with the lamp, watching A Christmas Story for the first time was truly like love at first sight cinematically. I adore this film, and nothing's changed. I still love it. And you want to know why I still love it? Unlike a lot of these other films I've been reviewing, this one is just so grounded in real life. I don't even really see A Christmas Story as a film that falls under the formal 3-act structure. It's presented to us in a series of vignettes instead. Think what would happen if a bunch of those holiday Peanuts specials were rolled up into one film. Now sure, Ralphie is at the center of this, and his desire for that BB gun is the epicenter of this plot. But there are so many other stories and layers that are sprinkled throughout the film. And you know what the amazing thing is? These stories add a ton. They never feel like distractions. Similar to Home Alone, which I also reviewed earlier this week. This is a movie that just makes you feel happy. Makes you feel like a kid again. But A Christmas Story, by comparison, I think brings its own unique charm in a brilliant storytelling method. And this storytelling, I should mention, leads to some of the best narration in cinema history. And it was all done by the original author of the novel it was based on. Rest in peace, Jean Shepherd. Thank you for all you've done to immortalize all these characters in your own way. All of these performers as well do an excellent job to bring Shepherd's characters to reality. Let's talk about this very young Peter Billingsley as Ralphie Parker. Every single year that goes by, the more and more I watch A Christmas Story with a big plate of Chinese food in front of me, I'm more and more convinced this is one of the greatest child performances in the history of cinema. There are just so many layers to this kid. He's full of holiday cheer, but he's a smart aleck. Thinking about it, Buddy the Elf would probably want this kid on his naughty list. But Peter Billingsley definitely had a tough task in front of him. He has to portray Ralphie the 10-year-old as he is in real life. But there's also all these really hilarious daydream sequences. And he has to play all those other various gimmicks that are swimming through Ralphie's imagination. Like how about that rootin' tootin' outlaw chasing down various bad guys like the evil Black Bart? Or how about the older version of Ralphie who doesn't look any older than he is in real life, oddly, but he's blind for life because of soap poisoning. Oh my goodness. Oh my fudge.
Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word. The big one. The queen mother of dirty words. The F-dash-dash-dash word.
That may be one of the most memorable scenes to come out of the film, but there's just so many of them. So many memorable scenes with all of these characters. Keeping on that curse word scene, the other party in that is the late great Darren McGavin. Excellent performance as the old man. I love his main gimmick of him fixing all those stinking cleaners in the blasted stupid furnace. Now this film very easily could have gone into R-rated territory with all those obscenities, but 1983 didn't exactly have a lot of those censorship tools. So all those obscenities are just an illusion. It's just him yelling gibberish. And John Shepherd is telling us that he's uttering all these really, really naughty phrases. And we roll with the illusion. Because these performances are so well realized and these characters in their given circumstances are so well put together. I would argue that McGavin's old man is my favorite of all these colorful characters. He's tough and he can be extremely harsh on his wife, but he still ends up to be a pretty likable human being. Because, spoiler alert, he's the one who actually gives Ralphie the BB gun. And he was the only one that Ralphie didn't ask. Think about it. He asks his mother straight up. He writes it in the Miss Shields theme for class, and he asks that really deranged mall Santa Claus. But not his father, because he is way too intimidated by him to actually pull through with it. And he's the one that ends up giving Ralphie the chance. It is just... Guys, this is genius writing. How about all the sequences with Scut Farkus? Ugh, what a rotten name. He had yellow eyes. So help me God, yellow eyes. Scut Farkus is so intimidating, he gets his own theme music. I mean, the score in general is phenomenal. It establishes the proper quirky tones for each vignette, making each one of them feel wholly unique. And I gotta say, the vindication of Ralphie beating Scut Farkus to a bloody pulp. No other character deserved the beating like Scut Farkus did. Speaking of these kids, who can forget the triple dog dare sequence? Well, that's all I have to say about poor Flick. Now, is it just me, or... This is how I interpreted it on the rewatch. The actress playing Miss Shields was blocked to give that whole scolding monologue right in front of Schwartz. I feel like the actress was playing with a lot of subtext there, as if she knew that Schwartz was the one who put him up to it. Like, watch that scene again and look at her blocking. It's just something that I couldn't get out of my head. How about his little brother, Randy? That brotherly relationship honestly reminds me a lot of how me and Jake grew up. And there was one scene where Randy was playing with his food, and the mother subtly asks him, how do piggies eat? Everybody's reactions of glee, disgust, and pure bafflement are just... It's a perfect combination. I was almost ashamed to be laughing at that scene. Because again, kind of like the elf dinner scene, very childish in nature. And the film's stellar direction by Bob Clark, and this really, really pristine editing is really what helps the Christmas Story's comedy drive all the way through. And it pays off. A Christmas Story is extremely funny. But much like Home Alone, this movie also has its emotional moments, mostly involving an excellent Melinda Dillon as the mother, who in many ways is the anchor of this household. And she's so distressed and frantic throughout a lot of the movie. Once Christmas Day comes around though, she is as happy as can be. Guess what though, guys? That's real life. How many years have you been worried about wrapping presents because of all this procrastination? How many years have you been trying so hard to keep your composure because the young ones in your household are way too excited for the 25th? She is so real in this film. Everything about this film just captures the true essence to me of what Christmas is all about. It is pure magic. The wake-up scene on Christmas morning with Ralphie is one of the most simple yet fanciful scenes of the entire film. It just gives you that happy feeling. It's the perfect feeling of making you feel like a kid again. I really don't have any issues with this movie, guys. I realize you can nitpick any movie to shreds, and this is no exception. You'll notice that there's a bunch of continuity errors sprinkled throughout this. But you know what? In my book, that's really pushing it. This is essential viewing every year. In my opinion, it is the Christmas movie for every generation. This movie never gets old. It never will. This is my personal favorite holiday-themed, Christmas-themed movie. There has never been anything like A Christmas Story ever in cinema, and I'm convinced that there never will be again. I'm, of course, gonna give A Christmas Story an A+. There's not really much else to say, guys. Watch this film. Watch it every single year. Whether you watch it on Blu-ray, digital, or heck, pop it on TBS. They show it for 24 hours every Christmas Eve, and it plays into the 25th. You got to. If this isn't a tradition, or if you've never seen A Christmas Story, gosh, what the heck are you guys doing? And I would love to discuss all of your thoughts about The Christmas Story down in the comment section below. Who is your favorite character? What is your favorite moment? What is your favorite holiday-themed movie? I'd love to discuss these thoughts and then some down there. And if you're enjoying my content, and if you guys want to continue discussing cinema and all things entertainment with me, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. Because number one, it's free. And number two, you guys will be the first ones to know anytime I upload a new video over here. And if you guys enjoyed this video, also please be sure to leave a thumbs up on your way out. I'd really appreciate it. And I thank you all so much for your support of the channel up to this point. It really does mean the world. And I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas tomorrow, because in a year as sucky as this one, you guys all deserve it. You guys are the best. With all that being said, back talk, commence.